Welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty, where today we play our final regular season game on the road as we head up north to Pullman, Washington to take on the Cougars. Our Cardinal coming off a fantastic senior day performance against Cal with a 31-14 victory. The offense played a pretty decent game out there, obviously led by the rushing game, but a pretty good catch from Amari Borden, 1 for 89 yards and the one and only receiving touchdown. But as usual, it was the defense that led this group. 8 tackles from Richardson led us, but with 2 tackles for a loss, Sony Fotu, and another sack for him, defense shut down the offense of the Cal Golden Bears. And of course, we can't skip over the pick 6 for Maxwell Richardson. And with that win, we gave ourselves hope yet again to possibly squeeze into the college football playoffs. With some teams trending downward, Kansas State, they have a ranked matchup this week against 19th ranked TCU. If they could knock down the Wildcats, that could help open a door here for us. If Oregon, Wisconsin, and Clemson also continue their downward trajectory, maybe with a win, we could slide on up. But it's not going to be exactly an easy road for us. Cougars 4-7, but they've had some impressive wins and even some impressive losses. Kansas State only a 3-point loss to them in week 1. They did pull off a 3-point win over Auburn, and then also pulled off a 3-point win against current 25 ranked Colorado. They also played a close one against 3-ranked USC. And this will be our 3rd time facing John Mateer, now the redshirt freshman quarterback here of the Cougs. 17 touchdowns, about 2,500 passing. Struggles with completion percentage. Rushing the ball is the junior Tay Hobbs with over 100 carries, 5 touchdowns. Receiving, it's really Isaiah Cobbs as their main guy, the redshirt freshman. 50 catches, 7 touchdowns, 760 yards. Hernandez, he'll get his targets closer to the end zone. He has 5 touchdowns on the year, and they're gonna go after Ryan Otten fairly often. But defensively, they are led by a small group of players, starting at linebacker Hudson Cedarland. The redshirt senior out of Gig Harbor, Washington, with 86 tackles, leads this team by 20 plus. When it comes to TFLs, Doss and Cowgill, both with 8. Sack leader is Doss. They also have a guy who could pick off the ball in Xavier Squires. And if this does come down to kicking, they have Brian Leota, the sophomore, true sophomore, making 17 of 20 with a long of 46. So to keep our playoff hopes alive and to play our final regular season game, we are underway. Joshua, he returns the kickoff here down the middle, and the offense will be starting at the 19. Not the most optimal starting spot. Elijah Brown in the offense heading out. He needs one more passing touchdown to hit 20. So as long as everything goes to the hopeful plan, he'll have a few more games to try to rack up some higher numbers. Starting with the rushing game here, Irvin down the middle. He'll pick up 4. Both he and Parrish averaging about the same amount of carries this year, both over 100. As Parrish checks in here, and his gain much shorter. Nixon with a quick shed leaves him to just a gain of 1. 3rd and 5, hard count. Parrish moves early. Well, that'll definitely change up the plan then. 3rd and 10, 2 spread either side. Elijah Brown thrown to the outside. He's got Bachmeier. 1st down, crossing the 35. Good throw from the redshirt junior. Sticking with a spread look, and looked like he might have been trying to go down the field to Bachmeier. Ran out of time. He takes it for a gain of 2. Though any gain is a good gain most of the time. 2nd and 8 going back to the true run. Parrish down the middle. We'll pick up another 3. And as long as no one jumps off sides, this should be the same distance we were supposed to have the last time. Setting up the screen, it's out to Parrish. Big block from Roth, the center. Lays out the defender. And Parrish can get his team into plus territory. 2 go to the right, 1 to the left, Borden. As they will look to throw down the field and getting picked off. Blanket coverage, not a good choice. Haddad is going to have to try to find an angle here. Dives coming up empty. Irvin finally forces him out at the 17. Just a bad decision there from Brown. He had the receiver underneath. But with that decision, he's now thrown 15 interceptions on the season. Wazoo set up inside their own red zone. They go with the draw right down the middle and with a little push from Howerton inside the 5, or about at the 5 is where they mark him. With 2 spread to the right-hand side, it's a hurry-up offense here. Cougs hand it back off and denied. Loss of 4. It was Tafiti and Rico Cote that got back there. They go right back to him. He bounces to the outside. Camp with the tackle. They're back to the 5. Cardinal defense trying to keep this to just a field goal attempt here. They got one more stop they got to get for it. Tafiti with pressure. Mateer sack fumble. Scooped up Sony Fotu. It's a turnover from both sides to start off this game. Stanford defense bail out their offense. And it's the edge rusher star tandem for the Cardinal that Brown has to thank for it. As they go with the run here, Parrish sticks the foot in the ground, gets down the middle, and picks up 6. Coach Bearington has talked a lot about getting this team to be run first. That is what they have been this year. Though under pressure, a massive sack, loss of 12 to Jean Doss. And that'll give the junior 10 sacks on the season. And leaves the Cardinal with a 3rd and long. Hard count, no one jumps. Good press coverage on the outside, but it's out for Borden. Safety swats it away. It will be a punt. So as most of these Cardinal games are, a defensive battle to open up. Cougs start at the 49 plus side. And right back down the middle with a big lane, a gain of 12 for Schlenbaker. This is also our 3rd game going up against him. It was a young group here for the Cougs when we first started with Coach Barrington. Very similar to our own. Rico Cote with a tackle on the swing. And the Cougs spreading wide here, trying to match opposite-wise to our 4-4. We're looking to stop the run. They're looking to spread things out under pressure and thrown away. Mateer did have a receiver, or not 2, in the area. So 3rd and 6. As they got their tight end to the left-hand side. Otten, a heavy target for them, though they go the opposite way. And 81 with a little burst of speed down the middle sets them up at the 11. That is their leading receiver. Talked about his numbers earlier on. Going back to Schlenbaker. Limited gain. And now sending the rush again. Ends up working out well. Good tackle in open field. Cougs once again with a 3rd and 6 inside their own 10 here, though they could get a 1st down prior to the end zone. Everyone goes to the right-hand side, and it's picked off. Camp gets slowed down by his own teammate, but that is another turnover forced by this Cardinal defense standing in their own end zone. And for the Cougs, that is a possible 14-point swing here that they are not up, for as little as 6. Parrish for the Cardinal offense back down the middle to pick up 3. Rushing game, per usual, starting off pretty well. The passing game, definitely not. As they give the double to the backer, Parrish with a big rumble up to the 30. That's going to create some much-needed breathing room. With that 1st and 10, 30 seconds left here, 1st quarter. Some more play action and just getting the ball out in time. Wazoo sent the DB blitz. Almost picked up the sack instead, 2nd and 10. Keenan in motion here. They go jet sweep. Irvin doesn't get the block, nor does the tight end in Buck. And it's another 3rd and long here for the Cardinal. 3rd and 13 to be more specific, as they will look to snap the ball before the end of the quarter. And then chalking it up, it's nowhere close to a Cardinal player. So as the 1st quarter comes to an end, it is really just defenses showing up. But even with those defenses, the Cardinal still looking to be the much better team. 2 turnovers leave a goose egg on the board here, starting with the run, and Schlenbaker loses 2. It's Howerton immediately meeting him in the backfield. Cougs sticking with their hurry-up offense here. They go with a tight shotgun look, going right back to it, almost slipping under Richardson. But it's just going to be another loss of 2. 3rd and 14, a chance to get off the field. And with a pass breakup, Cardinal defense keeps pulling through. And if the offense is going to find any success here today, it's got to be just running, or they've got to find a way to get that passing game open. Parrish takes the handoff for a gain of 9.5. Again, see good play. The line looks really good when they run block. Pass blocking, not always so much. It's a deep drop, but finding the tight end in Chico Holt. He doesn't see the field that often, but a big play there. 1st and 10. Now with the play all the way to the outside, Parrish. He's got another first down rush. He gets a lot of the spread looks as he stays in here with the spread empty all the way to the right-hand side. No safety over the top. As Haddad, he's got some speed, and he doesn't have the touchdown. Good ball from Elijah Brown. He had a touchdown called back last week. That time, he just straight up dropped it. Parrish down the middle, he's going to pick up 5. Now that does leave the Cardinals still behind the chains here with a 3rd and 5. Tight look as they've got an option. Bachmeier, he gets the catch. Couldn't slip underneath the block, but it's a first down at the 27. And getting back to the line rather quickly. Bunch goes to the right-hand side, Borden to the left. Got 2 high safeties. Brown with a 4-man rush. He's got to get this one out. He finds Parrish, who's got yet another first down. 3rd, if not 4th on the drive. It looks like after that one, they'll give him a little bit of a breather. Cedric Irvin checks in as they go with a run to the left-hand side. Finding a nice gap, he picks up 7. Well, he's definitely not the Cardinal power back. He typically comes out in these under center formations. Staying out here, some good blocks, but Doss gets the stop. And for the first time today, we've got the wing T looking for a push. Dog squeezes out the first, not by much, but it's enough to keep this drive moving here. 1st and goal, about the 4-yard line. Sticking with the same look, having to bail out. He looks for Irvin late, but it hits the turf. A pretty good reason why they like to stick with a lot more deeper passes as Irvin takes it the next go, and a great example of how good this offensive line is at run blocking. Cedric Irvin with his 5th rushing touchdown on the season. And with it, the Cardinal finally crack that scoreboard. They make it 7-0. Now can the Wazoo offense find their own way, going back to the run and getting eaten up? Glenn Baker definitely had some more room at the start of this game. The last couple drives, it's been closing, as he does manage 3 there, but it does still leave the Cougs with a 3rd and 8. As Mateer making a change here, he's got 3 to the left-hand side, 1 to the right. They will look to pass the ball downfield, and open target, finding the soft spot between the deep zone and that curl flat. And that's just got to be what they look to find here on out. The running game hasn't quite been there. Got to adapt. As Mateer looks to pass, open target across the middle, finding the tight end, 23. And that will send us to the 2-minute warning with 2 back-to-back first downs here for Washington State. Tafiti, though, in the clear rush. And you got to feel like he pulled up a little bit there. He could have destroyed Mateer. Instead, just a loss of 7. Cougs will get right back onto it. As again, free rush. Tafiti back-to-back. You got to put at least one hand on the guy. Can't leave him untouched like that. 3rd and 21 now, outside of field goal range for sure. Their kickers only made about a long of 40, and 3 straight. They left Tafiti untouched. He ends the drive for the Cougs in a timeout called by Coach Bearington. So with 1:18, the offense will head on out. Parrish goes to the left-hand side, started at the right. Trying to get maybe a speed mismatch downfield, or getting it out late. Borden with the secure grab. Considering how hit or miss this receiving group has been with their hands this year, that is a big one. 2 spread either side, Buck to the right-hand side. And stepping up in the pocket, Brown, he's just going to look to pick up something. If he had maybe a second or 2 more in the pocket, he might have had Parrish out of the backfield. 2nd and 7. They bring the blitz. And there's the drop we were referring to. Just straight off the hands of Borden, leaves 3rd and 7. Hard count. Movement on both sides. It looks like they might get the defense here first, actually. And indeed, that's the case. They get it on Cowgill. So 3rd and 2 then. As Irvin, the running back, they hand it off to him, and he explodes through the gap, getting him to about the 41. Now, they don't use one of their timeouts there. Still have 2 in their back pocket with trips to the right-hand side. Irvin letting things develop. He's got Keenan downfield with a big throw. It's a yard too far. That looked like it was going to be another touchdown. Not the case. Now they go with a screen pass to Keenan instead, who bounces it to the outside. Good pursuit from 18. Keenan does get out of bounds, though. 29 seconds, a 3rd and 2. And they hand it off to Irvin down the middle. Timeout called by Wazoo. Despite being in field goal range here, the offense is staying out there. It's a heavy set, single back. Cedric Irvin has the gap. It closes quickly, but he does pick up the first down. Then Coach Barrington immediately calls that timeout. Had to trust that definitely was a first down in that case. 23 seconds left. As Keenan again with an opportunity, the pass rush hits. They just quite haven't held on long enough up front. And by holding, we don't actually mean the penalty holding, but just securing that block. As they throw this one, Bachmeier, he gets the catch. Final timeout called with a 3rd and inches. So with 13 seconds left, a spread empty look here for Brown. As he's got his target, Bachmeier with the touchdown. They sent the streak, 2 streaks along that side. Safety had to choose. He bit on the outside, left the inside throw, and Bachmeier holds on to it for a 14-0 lead at half. As per usual when it comes to these halftime analysis segments, for the most part looking good. Couple things definitely need to be cleaned up, the passing game being that for the offense. But the defense, they've looked phenomenal today. 2 turnovers inside the red zone have kept Wazoo off the board. And it'll be that same defense starting out on the field here this second half as Schlenbaker, he finally finds some yards here. Actually a gain of 8, which is about all he had in that second quarter. 2nd and 2, they go back to it. He hops over Rico Cote, who tried to chop out the lineman. It's a first down for Wazoo. As they go with a little hurry up off of it, getting back to the line and right back to him. 3 straight rushes. First 2 worked out for him. That one, not quite so much. A loss of 1 as they then change up the look. They make it an empty set here. They got trips to the right-hand side, 2 to the left. Mateer's still making changes. They get back to the line quickly. Doesn't mean they snap it very quickly. As they go to the outside, picking up some good blocks and slipping by Frausto Ramos, getting to about the 40-yard line. A really good jet sweep there as they are set up here with trips to the right-hand side. And they go with a run to the outside. A lot of pursuit, and Sony Fotu will make the play coming from the opposite side of the line. It's a loss of 5 for Schlenbaker. He then exits the play here following as they go 35, and he's got space. And pulling the 2 tacklers, he gets the first down. Wazoo putting together a really good drive here to start the second half. Empty set again for Mateer. Bunch to the right-hand side. They block up to Feedy, but Morris should have had the pick. And that same opportunity last week, couldn't bring it down. Does at least slow down. And a beautiful juke there by Schlenbaker sent Rico Cote. That should have been a play made at least the line of scrimmage, if not the backfield. Haven't seen Rico Cote miss like that very much. 1st and 10 at the 15. As Schlenbaker looks to cut back all the way, denied. Richardson and Howerton get the stop at the line. 2nd and 10 to Feedy, working his way around. They do pick him up late. Dump off for 4. But once again, inside their own 10, inside the red zone at least here. A 3rd and 6. This is where we've seen turnovers. As Mateer, he's got some time. Throwing, open target, and a touchdown Wazoo. A great start to this second half, exactly what they were needing, and they break their red zone curse, nearly having this deficit. Though on the following play, PAT coming off the edge, special teams block the point after. Well, that is still not to take away from a really good start to this second half. Wazoo's played some close games against good opponents. They're going to give us a good fight here. Play action across the middle. Borden with the catch, and he's sprinting to the 40 before getting dropped. His 2nd catch today, both of them around 20 yards. 1st and 10 to go to the left-hand side And they've got Buck squeezing it in between a narrow window. Or at least with how some of these linebackers like to play, over the top of the linebacker, in between the corners, and a spread empty look here. They're feeling the passing game as they've got Haddad pushed out at the 3. The Cardinal are all about the run in the first half. It's been the pass so far here as they swing it out, and the pass will polish off the drive. Borden answers back on a 4-5 play drive here for the Cardinal offense. So clearly, some tweaks were made during halftime, or a very inspired speech from Coach Bearington to fix that part of the offense. The defense, though, they've got to get back to their game. 1st and 10 here for Wazoo. A lot of time to throw as they do finally find Otten. Coming into this game, he was their 3rd guy in terms of receptions. It's been a while till he got one here today. Though back-to-back, they find him across the middle. And perhaps the defense now needing to make adjustments, as clearly Washington State has. Trips go to the right-hand side, some motion as well. Pass across the middle, dropped by Richardson. He sat in the cover 1 hole and nearly made the big play for the defense. Spread empty here for Mateer. Could have been another pick for him. Tafiti, he gets a good hit on him, but it is ruled incomplete. 3rd and 10, a chance to get off the field here. As Otten goes to the left-hand side, Schlenbaker's gonna match him. Trip stay to the right. Mateer with that empty set. And shucking off and getting back to it in another drop pick here for the Cardinal. Tafiti nearly gets the sack. Asher nearly gets the pick, but it's still a punt. And if you're picking up stops, we can't complain. 1st and 10, Cardinal offense starting at the 21. Parrish the running back, as that is where they go. And nearly bouncing it all the way to the outside. 31 with a good open field tackle. We've got a 2nd and 3. And getting rid of it before the sack. Completion percentage may not be that good for Brown, but it's because he's thrown out of a lot of sacks, minimizing the negative plays. As they go Bachmeier, he's got the 1st down at the 37. Another one of those Stanford Cardinal seniors playing their final regular season game. As they're coming back out with a heavy look, they go with the weak side stretch, and Irvin with a little bit of a power game there at the end. He rumbles forward, picking up the gain of 8. As they're a few yards away from the midfield line, it's Parrish getting stopped at the line to gain. They're not going to give it to him. As the Cardinal do wing T formation here, and they've got 2 big dudes lined up right down the middle. They know where the Cardinal like to go, but it doesn't matter. Montrell Dog with the 1st. Big props to the line for that push. 1st and 10. Play action, rolling, and again throwing out of a sack. Those passing plays out of the wing T not quite working out for the Cardinal. 2nd and 10, and then bouncing to the outside. Irvin, good block from Borden. That springs him. Oh, the juke not going to get by the safety. Good stop. The Cardinal are still rolling here as we're coming to about the end of the 3rd quarter. Probably time for one more play. And it's going to be play action. Again, having to get all the way to the outside. Has a receiver. Borden with the catch. If he's able to keep his feet, maybe he's still rumbling. But either way, it's a big throw under pressure from Elijah Brown as we do reach the end of the 3rd quarter. Heading into the 4th quarter. Time to put this game away. The Cardinal, they start at the 13, and they hand it off. Parrish down the middle, met by the linebacker and safety. With just the gain of 2, Irvin checks back in. He's typically the running back here inside the 10. Gets a good juke, and he's got his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game, giving him 6 total on the year and putting this one back to a 3-score game. Definitely seeing appearances here and there of what a well-balanced Cardinal offense can look like. They just need to clean up some of those early game turnovers, especially with them still trying to make the playoffs. Can't have too many of those as Wazoo misses the throw here to open up their next drive. Mateer's going to be kicking himself for that one. It was open. And then under pressure, Sony Fotu with a 10-yard loss, make it 3rd and 20. And it still is crazy the fact that Sony Fotu is just a freshman. Can he get another sack here? Well, Tafiti, he gets pressure and a quick stop from Sumlin. They get back the 10. and they'll keep the offense out on the field here. Because why not? You don't have anything to lose. Otten goes to the left-hand side, the tight end trips to the right. Schlenbaker motioned out. It's going to be an empty set. As they snap the ball, about 4 seconds on the play clock. Across the middle, tipped again, and the lineman couldn't get the catch, though that would have been quite fun. But the Cardinal take over inside the red zone. 6:55 left here in this game. Irvin, he takes it down the middle with a good push. Again, he's not much of a power back, but he shows a little bit of it there. Maybe trying to put some of that on tape before heading to the NFL, perhaps. Haddad, he brings it in. Missed the deep ball in the first half. He's not missing that one. Haddad finally into the end zone. It's been quite some time. With that, Coach Barrington lets these starters make their bow to the Stanford student section that traveled up here to Pullman, and he will send out the backups to finish up this game. Mateer still trying to pass the ball here. Under pressure, and Cook forces the fumble. It's scooped up by Williams, who spins, bursting away. It's going to be a sack, fumble, scoop, and score from the second team defense. And for Cook, who could be in line to start next year as Tafiti moves on, that's one heck of a play. And if any sort of playoff seeding comes down to point differential, Cardinals trying to swing that in their favor here with a lot of points in the final regular season week. Though for Mateer, who is the senior playing his final game, you gotta feel a little bit bad. Never like seeing final games be so rough as it's another pick. Scott couldn't keep his feet, but that is back-to-back weeks that Scott has come in here late on in a game and gotten a pick. But again, going back to Mateer, I hope the students here take it easy on him. Rough way to finish out his career. Offense back out here. Montrell Dog from the non-wing T fullback spot takes the carry. And Jartavius Nixon injured for Wazoo. Hopefully it's just a little stinger for him. 2nd and 5 with a tight shotgun look here. It's going to be play action. And thrown out to the tight end, Chico Holt. He's got the first down. They're letting Jackson throw it around a little bit, as there's still plenty of time left in this game. Carmona in motion. He's going to take the jet sweep. And Parrish didn't go all the way to the outside, so he's not going to get that final lead blocker, but he does pick up 6. He's a receiver that the Cardinal very well might be relying on next year, as both Borden and Bachmeier make their leave. 2nd and 4. Parrish, he's got a lane, and he's down at the 2. Despite having well over 100 carries, only 1 rushing touchdown this year. As talked about, Irvin normally checks in down here. So we will give it to Parrish. He gets his 2nd touchdown on the season. And with it, the Cardinal will be 1 point away from the 50 bomb. And with how many turnovers we've seen today from the Washington State offense, perhaps we might find that 1 more point. Tafiti gets pressure from the DT spot. You can't keep this guy off the field. Though that might also be due to the fact that the Stanford Cardinal only have 3 active DTs, as Cantwell out there. A little bit of pressure, but they find Otten, and he finds a big gain up to the 40. Now, while I'm sure most of these linebackers don't want to hear it, there's not quite exactly that open spot, and that should have been another pick. Instead, Schlenbaker all the way down to the opposite 30. As we were trying to say, Williams not exactly in line to take over a starting spot next year, though that can change. There was a lot of speculation, and there's the pick. It's Rico Cote, and he's got the welcome mat in front of him. 20, 15, 10, 5, diving in. There is the 50 bomb. With another pick, this one a pick 6. But he is one of those reasons why there is not really a question at linebacker next year, only a sophomore. Now Wazoo is starting at the 42 as the kicker felt bad for him, sends the kick straight out of bounds, and a sack from Nelson. A little bit of help from Cantwell as well. Of course, Nelson did start this year at the starting spot at the right end. Didn't have a great opening. Sony Fotu came in, and well, that story writes itself. But it's nice to see guys still making plays. Scott misses the pick. And at this point, you can hear some boos coming in from the crowd. I don't think they're a huge fan of the play of Mateer, but he's just letting this thing fly out there as Scott does get another pick. And at this point, you just gotta feel bad for Mateer. But that is where we will gracefully let this one come to an end. A 50-point win. The Stanford Cardinal go up to Pullman and just obliterate them. 6 turnovers forced. Overall, a really good game for Elijah Brown. He started to open up that passing game in the second half, and they just started to let it rip. Big plays made after big plays. We got a lot of different guys involved, including a lot of seniors. The young guys got an opportunity, and they also put in the work. But that will wrap us up here for the regular season, a win on the road. And after seeing such a dominant performance, we have possibly a quarterback of the future commit in Gordon Draft, a South Haven, Mississippi 4-star coming to the Cardinal. We also are bringing in his competition in Nick Terrell out of Pickerington, Ohio, another 4-star. And why not? Let's add a running back to that group in Zach Thompson out of Enterprise, Alabama, a 4-star. But of course, not done there. Tim Easy joins from Washington, Maryland. That's an interesting one. Haven't heard of that. A 4-star. And to potentially round out the group, Al Page from Round Rock, Texas. We land 2 quarterbacks and 2 cornerbacks. This is the 3-star with a lot of promise. And of course, with how good the defense played, we've got to add in a defensive player of the week. Pac-12 is Tafiti in his final regular season game. 4 sacks, 5 tackles, all of which were for a loss. And with that, you know it's going to be national player as well. A huge game from Tafiti. And with that, we birth our chance to be Pac-12 champions, as not only will we have the chance to get a little bit revenge against USC. If we win that game, we secure our spot in the playoffs, as we are already ranked 11th. Well, what a way for us to open that door, and for the Cardinal to be Pac-12 champions. If we could pull off a win, it's going to be tough, because USC, again, they are ranked up at 2. We played a close game against them earlier. We let it slip away in the 4th quarter. But really, there's a couple teams here we need to thank. North Carolina, they lost in that week to Penn State 24-20. They dropped from 7 to 13, helping elevate us. We also have to thank Oregon, who lost an 11-point game to Washington. They dropped from 11 to 18. And Army, they go from being not ranked to 19th. They are 9-2. They deserve to be up here. But playoffs are not set in here for any of these teams yet, as conference championships still have to be played. So as we let the team rest up during our bye, make sure you are prepared. Hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down to the sub button and definitely tap that bell icon, as your Cardinal are headed to the Pac-12 championship game next time against USC. It's a team we know. We played them not long ago. The running game for both teams were paramount. Unfortunately, things slipped away from us at the end. We now know what we need to correct. Defense has been on a tear. Offense, we saw great glimpses of a balanced attack, but we know running game first and foremost. Let's tighten up the screws in this off week, and let's come ready and prepared for next time as we head to the championship game for the first time in many years.